In this CHANCENLAND VORARLBEG podcast edition, we will get to know Saleh Pazouki. Saleh was born and raised in Tehran, Iran. He got his Bachelor of Electrical Engineering there. Today, he is working as an employee at VW Research in Dornbirn. I'm now looking forward to hear the story of what made him move to Vorarlberg. And I also want to find out what attracts an electric engineer from abroad to work and live in Vorarlberg. Hi, Saleh.
Hi, Teresa. I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, very nice to meet you. Thank you for your time and for taking part in our podcast.
Sure, my pleasure.
Can you please introduce yourself? How old are you? What is your hometown? And where do you live today?
Yes, as you said, I'm coming from Tehran. I'm born and raised there, and I'm 36 years old, and currently I'm living in Bregenz beside the lake. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So you said you're from Iran and you work and live in Vorarlberg now.
Yeah.
Which stops have you made along the way before you finally come to Vorarlberg?
The first stop was Kopfenberg in Styria. The reason I moved there was that I applied for Master of Advanced Electrical Engineering. At that time, the program called this, and I moved to Styria because the department of our university, which was University of Applied Sciences, Ioannium, was located in this city. Since I moved with my wife there, so we rent an apartment, and I started my master degree, my master program, and after a while we gradually also moved to Graz. We lived there for a few years. I got to know also V Research, the company that currently I'm working at my university. There was a job advertisement over there. I saw that, okay, this is almost same thing that I'm doing during my master thesis, so why not applying for this job? Yeah, it looks quite interesting. That was why I finally moved to Vorarlberg.
Did you know Vorarlberg before that?
No, unfortunately not. I have not visited Vorarlberg. I had get to know Vorarlberg during my interview, and also one day in Vorarlberg, in Dornbirn, I was during my interview, but not before that. Yeah.
Not before that. Mm-hmm. What are your memories when you think about the first few weeks in Vorarlberg? Can you remember?
Yeah, I was completely excited. It was in July. The weather was very warm. First day I came to Dornbirn, I took a cable car, go to the top of the mountain.
To the Karen?
Karen, yeah, exactly. I had a very nice view of the city and the lake. It was very exciting. I was also introduced to the other colleagues.
So you had the perfect start in Vorarlberg.
Yes, everything was great to start work.
Showing from the perfect side then.
Yeah.
What do you appreciate about your life in Vorarlberg today?
Working in an area that the others doing vacation. This is very nice in Vorarlberg. So in summer you have the lake, you can swim, you have the hiking option. In winter, if you are a fan of ski or other winter sports, it's really good available here. The other nice thing about Vorarlberg is the countries that you could shortly visit, the other countries. This is also very nice, and I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to visit Germany, Switzerland.
Yeah, Italy.
Yeah, so you told me that you work at VW Research today. What were the main reasons that convinced you to work for this company?
Yeah, the main reason was the topic that I was also doing in my master thesis. At first sight, this was exciting, so I immediately said, okay, let me apply. Then I visited laboratory of there, and I saw my colleagues. The atmosphere was very good, and also the lab equipment I saw, and the field of the work was quite interesting for me. These were the reasons I convinced to work for V Research.
So did you work in this field before, or was that new for you?
No, it was completely new for me. I never worked in this field. My university called FH, Ioannium in Germany, they let me to have some projects in this area. So I'm working mostly in power electronics area. So I had different projects in this area, and that was an introduction for me to the power electronic world and also to the company that I choose later.
You said that team colleagues were really nice. Do you have also other team colleagues that moved to Vorarlberg from abroad?
Yes, we are quite an international team. So we have from different countries, like me from Iran, from other countries. And I think we have also same feeling, more or less same feeling about, of course, there are some challenges when you enter Vorarlberg. For example, the first challenge is accommodation. Finding an apartment or a place to live. This could be really challenging, specifically when you don't know German. I was lucky that I studied German during my study, but there are also some colleagues who don't know German, and definitely a good support from the company or other colleagues would help.
And what inspires you at your work every day?
My team members are people who motivated team members who, when we discuss the challenges and solutions with them, this is always motivates me, because I am a person who personally like to learn, and I do this learning mostly from the other people, and when I discuss with them about the problems and give advice also from them, it's very motivating.
So it sounds that you're really a team which supports each other, you learn from each other.
Yeah.
Sounds really good, yeah. If you're in contact with, let's say, another electric engineer from abroad who is thinking about moving here for work, what would you tell him?
I would definitely recommend Austria, and specifically Vorarlberg, to them, which I also already did. I invite one of my friends who is also very expert in field of computer engineering. Of course, there are some challenges to enter Austria, specifically the paperwork. Sometimes you should prepare a lot of documents which you not sure if you get a clear answer from the embassy, and the money you should pay for each document. Sometimes you need to pay a full of your month's salary, which is quite a lot, and this could be negative point. But the other, definitely there are some people who like to enter Austria and work here, sure.
I mean, paperwork in Austria, that's true, that's really expensive.
And also compared to Iran currency, it's a lot. As I said, sometimes one document costs you one salary of a month. Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah. So what are your plans for the future? Can you imagine calling Vorarlberg your home long term, or do you already call it your home?
I would like to call Vorarlberg home. I learned German, and I recently got also my B2 level certificate. Of course, interacting with people, communities, club, this helps you to feel more home and feel safe, because you get to know people. And I guess this is called integration. When you know the language, when you know the culture and the people, then you are feeling more home. But what I wanted also to say is that the integration is a kind of a two-way street. You know, when a friend from Vorarlberg invites you to his apartment, and then you invite them to your place, and you exchange culture, you get to know the other people, then gradually you feel the place like a home. And this is definitely two-way road. Yeah.
So you also need Vorarlberg people which need to be open and welcome you and say, hey, let's do something together. Yeah, that's true.
Definitely.
You can't. It's not possible if only one side is open for interaction. Sure. What are your job-related goals?
I like to increase my knowledge in the area that I'm working. These are learning and growing. This with a good support from my company, and a good mentors, I could do that. This is what I want to do next, goal of my job.
My last question for you, do you have any favorite leisure spot in Vorarlberg?
Absolutely. Saturday morning when I go to Dornbirn marketplace, this nice warm atmosphere, and also at the same time you have the mountain view, and this is my absolute favorite place in Vorarlberg. Yeah,
I think you're not. Yeah, I think you're not the only person who likes the Dornbirn market.
Yeah, exactly.
It's for many Vorarlberg people, it's like a tradition to go on the Dornbirn market on Saturday, have a coffee, meet some people there.
Yeah.
It's
I
nice
enjoy it a lot, sure.
Yeah, Saleh, thank you for the very interesting conversation and for being part of our CHANCENLAND VORARLBERG podcast. I wish you all the best for your future, and thanks a lot for being part of that.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Das Projekt Place Branding wird im Rahmen des Interreg 5-Programms Alpenrhein-Bodensee-Hochrhein gefördert, dessen Mittel vom Europäischen Fonds für regionale Entwicklung und vom Schweizer Bund zur Verfügung gestellt werden.